Today's AskReddit post. People who've had sex with celebrities. How was it? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Let's get started. I'm starting to figure out people who bang celebrities aren't on Reddit. People who bang aren't on Reddit. This one time I saw Kate Upton in person while I was in the crowd for the Colbert Report. Went home and banged my wife just like I do every now and then. Slept with the lady that used to do the morning news in my city. This was at least 15 years ago. She is a blanket stealer and puts her cold feet right between your legs when she wants them warmed up. Now everyone knows Cassie. This is the cutest one by far. This is the only one so far. Some girl in my high school was one of the girls at the club that got picked up and ducked by one of them Jersey Shore dudes. I saw her on the TV and almost died laughing. A co-worker's sister slept with Chris Evans before he was famous. Same town. She worked it into every conversation she could. 'Cause why wouldn't you? Edit. America's ass. She got America's dick. Edit. I love that this is by far my most popular comment. Thanks for all the awards. I just want America's ass. Before AIDS was a thing, a friend of mine slept with Christopher Walken. He was in town for one night and told her that's all they'd have. She was fine with that. She said he was a perfect gentleman and a very sweet lover. He kept telling her how beautiful she was and made her feel like a queen. Edit to state that the mention of AIDS was only to date the story. I should have just said it was in the early 80s. Thanks for the awards and all the comments. I thought this sweet little story would get buried. I have no more information. She's a lady and didn't talk about it more than I posted. This was nearly 35 years ago and she still adores him. It's nice to know that some celebrities are decent people. This made me happy to hear. He's got a good way about him. I bet he's very charming. My grandma did one of the Beatles in the 60s. Edit. It was Paul, and she has his number. Edit 2. Story time. In 1961 my grandma dated Paul for 3 weeks, then they broke up on good terms and stayed in contact. Nothing changed when he died, but she got his phone number in like 2008 and they hang out sometimes when she's in England. I've met him twice. He's pretty nice. You can't just tell us and not say which one. Edit. I guessed George. Ended up wrong. But still, I had sex with Paul McCartney and I've got his phone number. Is one hell of a brag. No, it was Paul. Still better than Ringo, I guess. Sad Ringo noises. Great until they kicked me out of the wax museum. I'm having a heinous day and I ducking love this joke. I ducked the mascot for Hamburger Helper. Same. That arsehole gave me the clap. You really gotta hand it to him. Well, if this thread has taught me something, it's that celebrities are riddled with STDs. Anyone who is going to duck randos left and right is heavily statistically likely to be a collection of STDs. A friend slept with the lead singer of City and Colour when they were touring university campuses in the early 2000s. She bragged about it to anyone who would listen. That ended a few weeks later when she realized he gave her chlamydia and genital warts. Upside down face. Gave her the all sleeping sickness. This is so freaky. I'm listening to the song just as I read it. Slept with Western Kentucky's mascot after a drunken day at Churchill Downs. She refused to keep the head on. Still 10/10 experience. Yes, the big red blob thing. Not everybody gets to duck Red Grimace. Refused to keep the head on, but was she wearing the rest and there was like a flap of something? Nah, I just wanted the head on. Otherwise, I don't think it would have worked. I will never not refer to the mascot as Red Grimace again. Growing up we always called it the frag for some reason. I once had sex with Eartha Kitt in an airplane bathroom. EWW Pierce. What? It came up organically. A friend of mine ducked the Del guy of dude. You're getting a Del fame when we were in college. If you know who the Del guy is, congratulations on being old like me and my friend. She got the DL. My friend bragged to me about getting banged by Tone Loc. Funky cold Medina guy. She was 18 but seemed proud of it. About 20 years we were watching old videos and Tone Lock came on and I asked her about it and she said it sucked. He didn't shower after coming off stage. A little smelly. Drunk and gave a few pumps and was done. He barely did the wild thing. The mild thing. Not me, but a girl I knew slept with some F-list reality TV douchebag. He quoted himself off the show as a chat-up line and then again after he came. She described the experience as embarrassing, but not sure for who. I'm guessing it was Puck from The Real World SF. Shortly after The Real World season with Puck, I worked at a ski resort and Puck approached me to give him a free lift ticket because he was famous. People were starting to stop, stare and whisper. He sniped, "Don't you know who I am?" I totally knew who he was but since he was an ass I replied, "I don't." He was suddenly slightly embarrassed and started to explain. I just shook my head and said, "Who? What? Sorry." No one walked off. It was so satisfying. He had to buy his own damn ticket like everyone else. Post Malone asked my ex-girlfriend if she would be interested in going home with him under the condition that she would have to eat his ass. If there is one person's ass I would not want to eat, he would probably be it. Plus, his beehole probably has some stupid tattoo on it, like "so hungry" or some shit. Bless it. My wife has been in a couple of TV commercials, and I'm hoping that she will have sex with me one day. Soon. Please. Edit. I'm glad everyone is enjoying my dead sex life. Thanks for the rewards. I've never got one before. I don't know what they are good for, but thanks. I also choose this dead bedroom guy's wife. I hooked up with the drummer of Slipknot when they were in town. Twice. I was working at a strip club and he wanted lap dances. He paid me to do a lap dance for at least an hour. It was a ton of money. We bonded in conversation in that time. He invited me to hang out at his hotel, which I was still naive enough to not know if that just meant hanging out. I liked him though. We had fun. And he put me on the guest list. I went to his show the next night, went backstage, checked out the tour bus, and then met him at his hotel again. For the answer to how was it, he was good. It was fun. I'm assuming Joey, not Jay. Nope, it was Jay. Really nice guy. Q. I'm a big fan of Jay and he's always seemed decent all around. Pretty jealous you got to go backstage and watch them. Also got to go to a couple more shows afterward for the next couple years and say hi to him in the meet and greets. It's definitely one of the cooler things that have happened in my life. Glad I can confirm that he's a great guy. My grandma is from Memphis and dated Elvis for a while before he became mega famous. She has tons of pictures of them together and has told me tons of anecdotes that I have only seen in a few other places. Edit. Wow, wasn't expecting this to blow up. My inbox is literally full and I can't reply to everyone. Sorry, I posted this right before bed and I'm just now getting up. I've seen only 6 of the pictures. I believe she had more but she mentioned she only shows them to family now because some had been stolen. And yes, for those asking about age, Elvis would be 83 this year and my grandma just turned 79. So she would have been a few years younger than he and certainly very below 18. She told me lots of stuff, but for some reason the thing that sticks out to me the most and always makes me smile is that he loved bumper cars. 3 of the 6 photos she showed me were taken at different amusement parks fairs and 2 of them were in front of different sets of bumper cars. Just thinking of a young Elvis laughing and ramming into my grandma makes me smile. Unfortunately I live over 9 hours away from her so I can't just ride over and upload the photos online. And honestly I'm not sure if she would approve of that. But I will try and remember next time I go down there. Come here grandchild. Let me tell you the story of the time Elvis came on my titties. Let me tell you dearie, he ain't nothing but a horn dog. I made sure his balls were not the same color as his suede shoes. I shook hands with Penn and Teller then went back to my hotel room and ducked my wife. I take it Teller watched? A good magician never tells, winking face. Jenna Jameson kissed me on the mouth at a strip club in Ohio. That's all I got. That's all I got. Count yourself lucky. I have a friend that slept with one of the guys from Metro Station about 5 years after we thought they were cool for a year. Apparently he wanted zero foreplay. Finished within a minute or two. Then basically threw her out. Edit. Just wanted to add since responses keep asking. It wasn't the Cyrus. I don't remember who it was. But I'd remember if it was him. Edit 2. It was Mason Musso. I contacted her about it after this blew up and she got back to me. Did she shake it? I got it on with the star of a popular 80s sitcom. She rocked my world. To protect her anonymity, I will refer to her only as Barthur. I saw Danny DeVito cursing out a cyclist who nearly wiped him out. Getting out of a private cab once in San Fran was almost as good as sex. It's too bad he didn't start blasting. A little bit late to this. Using a throwaway. I slept with Matt Healy from 1975 a few years back. It was ducking awful. He lasted about 5 minutes. Proceeded to smoke all of my weed and then spent about an hour talking about himself and why his music was groundbreaking and going to change the world. Edit. Wow. This blew up way more than expected, so I'd like to address a couple of things. I understand that Matt has a heavily devoted fan base of 14-year-old girls who basically see him as a god. Please stop sending weird shit to my DM. Sorry if this bursts any of your bubbles, but I will never understand why people love this guy so much. As far as self-obsessed, talentless assholes go, this guy tops the cake. I also said Matt, because no self-respecting adult should call themselves Matty. Again. Please stop messaging me. How does this not surprise me? I love the 1975. But yep, this sounds about right. A girl I went to high school with dated Jason Akana aka Wee Man. Shortly before Jackass 3 came out, he visited her family in WI around Thanksgiving time. But he hated WI so much that he paid her best friend to drive him to the airport in the middle of the night. I guess when he visited he was WI man. I stood 2 feet away from Ethan Hawke in Tulum, Mexico at the restaurant, Heartwood, and that's the closest I've been to a celebrity's genitals. I worked in DC for a congressman when Brad Pitt came to talk to Pelosi about his charity. He nodded at me when he walked by me in the rotunda. Nodded. He wanted you. Bad. He was married to Angelina at the time. She was there shooting salt, I think. But I like your interpretation. He knew Angelina would want you too, but he was too nervous to just come up and say it. Was probably hoping the head nod would be enough to let you know, but since you didn't pursue it you left Brad and Angie disappointed. What could have been? My nana was in a serious relationship with Nash of Crosby, Stills and Nash. Is she Joni Mitchell? Knew a girl who ducked Zac Efron. Had to sign an NDA. Told me he wasn't all that great in bed, i.e. the fantasy was better than the reality. Still fanboyed over him hard apparently. I knew a girl who was an escort. She had sex with Derek Jeter. Afterwards he called a limo to take her home. In the limo was a gift. It was a baseball signed by Derek Jeter. He did this with all of them. There are plenty of dames in New York with Yankees gift baskets courtesy of this legend. Damn. Man straight up ducked all of New York. My sister ducked Drake. I walked into her room like 10 years ago and she was Skyping him. I waved to him and said hi and he showed me the studio he was sitting in because I was skeptical. Pretty cool. I guess they met up after his show in the city we lived in at the time and then never spoke again lol. Edit. She signed a NDA. I did not. How old was she? Well, she's 8 now. Sounds about right. On a trip to Vegas, one of my friends effed Michael Jordan. She said it was painful and fairly fast. She won't ever stop talking about it. If I just saw Michael Jordan in person I'd probably would never stop talking about it. I met him when I was 14. I'm 32 now. Still haven't stopped talking about it. A woman I worked with had a one-night stand with Captain Obvious from Hotels.com, whom she met at a NY jazz club. She pretended that she didn't recognize him in order to prevent being seen as a gold digger. She was hoping to get into a short-term relationship with him and hopefully he would give her some money and buy her a Lexus, which she really wanted. Later she found out that he wasn't Captain Obvious, just looked very much like him. Gold digger trying to act like they aren't a gold digger. That's a new one. A celebrity I've masturbated to liked one of my tweets once. I won't say who. Kumail Nanjiani liked one of my tweets once, so I'm gonna go smack it to him and then see Tenet next week. That'll count, right? I ducked a chick who was in a Target catalog. It was hot. I did not sleep with but did a little more than made out with Drew Barrymore October 07. It was rad. She was always my biggest crush growing up. Congratulations. Now we must duel. My ex slept with Till from Rammstein after a gig once many years ago when she was a gothlet. She said he was very respectful, mildly kinky, wanted to have sex on the hotel balcony with her bent over the rail over the city so people could see, and apparently had skin as soft as a baby. Apparently he was nice. Bought her breakfast the next day, invited her back for a second sesh the next day, then moved on in his tour. She said 8/10 would star duck again. My bestie had basically the exact same experience with Till, except she tried to duck him backstage and he declined, but invited her to his hotel room after the show. She showed up. He wouldn't let her inside until she showed him her driver's license. Apparently he had thought she was underage earlier and was just blowing her off. Didn't expect to see her again. Anyway, she was 20. She did look younger, so he let her stay the night. She said the same thing about him being very respectful and having really soft skin. I think, based on his music etc, everyone expects him to be all rough and tough. But yay, apparently he's got the skin of an angel. Go figure. I used a gender-neutral bathroom with James Franco. We made eye contact and smiled at each other when we were washing our hands. Straight male here. I'd jizz myself if James Franco smiled at me. A friend of mine slept with Perez Hilton. Would you be surprised if my friend said the sex wasn't very good? Edit. Perez Hilton the gossip blogger, not Paris Hilton the heiress. Too many people think I meant Paris when I wrote Perez. That just gave me shivers. I feel sorry for your friend. I hooked up with Zoey Deschanel in 2005. I was a bit of a premature Pete, but she was really sweet about it and I got her a cab after. Was it a death cab? Edit. Damn, I've never gotten an award. Thanks. No. That was later. In 2009. I was smoking weed with the bass player from Belphegor after a show, and when my girlfriend called he politely asked if she would suck his dick. Upon learning it wouldn't happen he graciously accepted the no and we continued talking about metal. Barely relevant, but I think the story is funny. Can I ask how one would graciously ask if they can get their dick sucked? Like, did he say please? Hey, not to put you guys out, but would your girlfriend mind sucking my dick? I totally understand if either of you aren't comfortable with it, but it's just that no one is sucking my dick right now. How'd this dick get in my mouth? Danny DeVito was surprisingly energetic, yet gentle. Did he use a Magnum condom for his monster dong? You know it. What you don't realize is the amount of NDAs floating around out there, lol. What if a celeb is gonna hook up? Are they like, holla blem, get my lawyer out here first? Or do they keep some in their bag? Sounds preposterous. Apparently, I heard that that's what Bieber does, and someone talked about hooking up with Drake and said that when they got back to his place he literally had an NDA consent form on the kitchen table with a pen. Bieber almost got meted last year and he started producing all types of documents to not only prove the story didn't add up but also that he had never met the girl in his life. It was honestly impressive. Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.